The Commanders get absolutely embarrassed by the Buccaneers, in my opinion. 37-20 lost. Today's game was a really bad game. Really, really bad. No one was good today. Well, I wouldn't say no one was good today. Jaden made his mistakes today. He had a couple bad incompletions, including that one, deep target to Terry where he overthrew him. Terry had a step on the cornerback, and Jaden just overthrew him a bit. But I think that play, he'll get that look again at some point in the season, and hopefully he can connect with Terry then. But he wasn't bad today. But overall, it just wasn't a good day. We're gonna go position by position group. Obviously, starting with Jaden, he was 17 for 24 today, 184 yards. Didn't throw a touchdown or an interception. Now, the last drive of the game, he threw a pass to Luke McCaffrey that was just short of, like, Luke McCaffrey was stopped at the 1 yard line, so he just couldn't barely get into the end zone. And then on the, I'm pretty sure, short pass to B Rob, it was a really nice catch and run by B Rob. He was stopped at the 1 yard line. So Jaden could have had two passing touchdowns today, but he didn't. But he did have two rushing touchdowns today. He was really efficient on the ground. He made some nice plays with his legs, had 16 carries for 88 yards and two touchdowns, including a really nice 17-yard scramble. So Jaden, he wasn't perfect today, all right? He, like I said, the Terry overthrow, and then he had a pretty bad pass to Olamide Zaccheaus, who, the cornerback was draped all over him. It was almost picked off. The cornerback could have picked it off. But overall, Jaden, he wasn't terrible today. He made his rookie mistakes, but that's what's going to happen. All three rookie quarterbacks that started today, Jaden, Caleb, and Bo Nix, Jaden was the best out of the bunch, but Caleb and Bo Nix, they weren't great today. Caleb, his defense, the Bears' defense, pretty much carried them to the win against the Titans. And then Bo Nix, he had like two interceptions today, I'm pretty sure, but he also had some nice plays as well. So all three rookie quarterbacks made their rookie mistakes, but it's week one. They are going to get better as the season goes on. So Jaden wasn't bad today. Now, I would say that Cliff did not have a good game. All right, he did not have a good game. He had some very questionable play calls, especially on our first drive after halftime. He went empty, I'm pretty sure, three straight times, which is very questionable. And then on the second time we went empty, Jaden Daniels was sacked. Cornelius Lucas got beat by a drum. Cornelius Lucas should not be our starting left tackle going forward. It should be Brandon Coleman. In my opinion, I feel like we had our best plays when Brandon Coleman was in the game. So if it were up to me, I would just, start left tackle. I would start Brandon Coleman at left tackle for the rest of the season, and then Cornelius Lucas should just be his backup. Cornelius Lucas, he's better as a backup anyway, so I would just, start Brandon Coleman, and then Lucas, obviously, the backup, like I said. But back to Cliff, he just had some questionable play calls today. I didn't think we ran the ball enough. I feel like Eckler, when he got the ball, he made some pretty nice plays, including a 22-yard catch and run from Jaden Daniels over the middle. And B-Rob, he had some nice carries too. He didn't, get the ball a lot today. He only had 12 carries for 40 yards, but did have a rushing touchdown. So when those two guys got the ball in their hands, they made some plays, but they just did not get the ball enough. So we gotta run the ball more. I feel like our offense just wasn't very balanced today. So Cliff, man, we gotta run the ball more. You gotta make the offense more balanced. And lucky it's week one, so I'm not gonna go say crazy and say the season's over or it's done. Today was a really bad game. All right, from all three phases. Offense, defense, special teams. We're gonna get to special teams at the end because Katie York, man, he was terrible. But Cliff Kingsbury just gotta make sure the offense is more balanced, and hopefully he improves as the season goes on. But today was just not a good day for him. Moving on to the receivers. And I blame Cliff Kingsbury partially for this, but also our receivers as well. Our receivers cannot get any separation today at all. Terry McLaurin, the Bucs cornerbacks, they locked Terry down today. Besides that one play where I mentioned, Jaden Daniels overthrew Terry on that deep route. Terry was getting locked up today. I'm not going to lie. He had two catches for 17 yards, his longest catch being 11 yards. That's not great. And part of it, I blame Terry because he is supposed to be an elite wide receiver. He's an elite wide receiver in my opinion, and he's supposed to be creating separation, and he's not. But also Cliff Kingsbury, like I said, he was not good today. He needs to get his receivers open. He needs to scheme his receivers open. I'm not going to lie. The offense, with the receivers kind of looked like EB because EB, he couldn't scheme his receivers open. It was bad last year. So Cliff, man, gotta scheme your receivers open, man. It was not good. Lou McCaffrey, he had the most catches and yards out of any receivers today. He had 3 catches for 18 yards, his longest catch being 10 yards. Olamide Zaccheaus, he had a drop today from Jaden Daniels early on in the game, but he finished with a catch for 15 yards. Jameson Crowder, he had a catch for 5 yards. De'Ami Brown, We've been hearing all this hype about him this offseason. What did he do today? 0 targets, 0 yards. So there's that. Our top two receivers today, Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson. That should never happen. Now, I like Austin Eckler as a receiving back. I think he's a really good receiving back. But the fact that he led this team in receiving yards today is that's just not it. All right, that should not happen in my opinion. He had 4 catches for 52 yards, so that's pretty solid. B-Rob had 4 catches for 49 yards, so that's good too. But the fact that our two running backs led our receivers in receiving yards and not our actual receivers, insane to me. All right, that's insane. And then Zach Ertz didn't do too much today. Had 3 catches for 26 yards. So, man, and a lot of people were saying that we shouldn't go out trade for Ayuk. I know it doesn't matter now because Ayuk got paid, but man, hey, our receivers could not get any separation today. It was pretty bad. All right, it was bad. And then our offensive line, didn't notice a lot from them today. I mean, they were pretty good for the most part. I guess they allowed only 2 sacks really. I think one on a blitz. Actually, I think both of them were on blitzes. But they did a pretty solid job for the most part picking up on blitzes. So O-line wasn't terrible today, I guess. Only allowing 2 sacks, so that's not bad. But yeah, didn't really notice much from them today, which is a good thing. If your O-line doesn't get called on too much, then that means they were good. Besides Cornelius Lucas, he was bad today in my opinion. He allowed a sack. Joe Tryon Troyinka got to Jaden Daniels on the sack. He beat Corn Lucas pretty badly. So, like I said earlier, Brandon Coleman, he should be our starting left tackle for the foreseeable future. And then Corn Lucas, he should just go to the bench. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, and let's start with the defensive line. I said in my preview video that one of the keys to victory is getting pressure on Baker Mayfield, and we did that. But we could not bring him down to the ground, which was so annoying. Baker was looking like Mahomes. We were looking at him, making him look crazy. I mean, we just could not bring him to the ground. Jonathan Allen, he missed a sack. Deron Payne, he missed like 2. I think Jonathan Allen missed 2 as well. I mean, it was just bad. Dante Fowler Jr., he missed a sack. We could have had like 4 or 5 sacks today if we could bring Baker Mayfield to the ground, and it was so annoying that we could not. It was bad. All right, it was bad. If we can't tackle Baker Mayfield, if we cannot take Baker Mayfield to the ground, then imagine what a quarterback like Lamar Jackson will do to us. Jalen Hurts and other mobile quarterbacks we will have to play. Justin Fields. I mean, it's bad. I don't know what's going on with tackling. And tackling was an issue in preseason too, especially against the Jets. It did get better in the Dolphins game and Patriots games, but tackling in the preseason against the Jets was really bad, and it seems like it's translating to the regular season because tackling today, it was quite bad. All right, it was quite bad. The Buccaneers, they were also running the ball on us today. I'll say like in the first half, we did a pretty good job of containing them, but in the second half, they were running wild. I'm not gonna lie. Let me check here. Bucky Irving, he had 9 carries for 62 yards. Rachaad White, he actually had only 15 carries for 31 yards. So I guess Rachaad White wasn't doing a whole lot against us in the run, but Bucky Irving, he was sort of running wild on us in the second half. But we got to work on tackling. Tackling, that's the first thing we should work on going into this week's or next week's practice, man. We got to work on tackling. Like, tackling is the number one priority in my opinion because it was abysmal today. It really was. And then our secondary, man, oh man, they were getting cooked all day. Baker Mayfield, he was dicing our secondary up, man. 280 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, unbelievable. He was cooking our secondary. Emmanuel Forbes, horrible. Benjamin St-Juste, he allowed 2 touchdowns working against Mike Evans. And I know it's Mike Evans, but my biggest thing with Benjamin St-Juste is that he never gets his head around. He's always in position to make a play, but he never gets his head around. I do not know why, but he just never does. And that's the most annoying thing about Emmanuel Forbes. Not Emmanuel Forbes. Benjamin St-Juste, in my opinion. He was bad today. Emmanuel Forbes, he got benched multiple times in today's game, replaced by Noah Igbenogany. He was sitting on the bench a lot today. I know early on in the game, he kind of messed up his own responsibilities, and then later in the game, I think, got beat for a touchdown. A lot happened today. Chris Godwin, he had a touchdown. Mikey Sanders still didn't even look good today. We all thought he was going to look good today. He did not, and, he's a rookie, so I guess I'll give him a little pass there. But our secondary overall, it was just bad today. Joe Witt, he was not good today. It was just bad. Like, I don't know why, and I've said it. I don't think I've said this before, actually, but Joe Witt and Dan Quinn, they did a good job, in past years with Dallas's, defense. They've done a good job play calling over there. I don't know how much coaching it will take to actually, get a guy like Emmanuel Forbes and a guy like Benjamin St. Juste to actually like play well. I don't know if any amount of coaching will get those guys to, be well. If they suck, then they just suck. It is what it is, man. So I don't know, man. The secondary play, it was just terrible today. Our safeties were bad. Our cornerbacks were bad. Everyone on that secondary was absolutely horrible. And then special teams. Cade York, you're gone. Cade York, you're cut. Let me get our seventh round pick back. Cade York, you're cut. You missed 2 field goals today. The first one, let me see here. It was a 40. I can't check it, but I think it was like a 48, 49-yarder. You got to make that kick, okay? If you cannot make a 40-yard kick, you're gone. His second kick he missed was a 56-yarder. Now, I will admit that was a hard kick, but, you just missed it. You just missed it, and it's worse because you missed your easier kick earlier as well. So, and we could have had like 23, 26 points if it wasn't for Cade York missing those 2 kicks. So, man, he was just bad. We got to cut him immediately. So, overall, man, it was just a bad game from all 3 phases. Offense, special teams, defense as well. It was a bad coaching game. It was just a bad game. The Buccaneers whooped us, and, the score, 37-20, is exactly what it looks like. They just dominated us. They blew us out, basically. So, it's on to week 1. It's only week 1. I mean, not on to week 1. It's on to week 2, and it's only week 1. So, we got a lot of improving to do, and we can improve throughout the season, but today was bad. It was very rough today. So, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe, turn on notifications, comment down below your thoughts from today's game. And other than that, it's me, King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.